Well, I guess you can see I'm off world. And give me a second. I'll beam myself back down. I just came up here to sort some things out. All right. So bear with me. I just got to stomp on the pedal and I'll be back. Okay, here we go. Ready? Beam me down, Scotty. Oh, wow. See how fast that is? It's really something, you know. Anyhow, welcome to my YouTube channel, Take Two. As you saw on the marquee, today's discussion is entitled The Unseen. That has a dual meaning. The artwork and the music will illustrate one meaning, and the other meaning are the things that people can't see that I've seen through my own eyes regarding my experiences in my life. Now, my whole family, as I mentioned in a prior video, they know my history, starting from a young age, and that's okay. And they know it right up to this day, for that matter. But what they don't know is my history as seen through my eyes, my perceptions, my feelings. And that's what I want to talk about. Of course, all of my videos are for posterity, meaning I'm doing them to the best of my ability so that my grandchildren and my kids and all my relatives, known and unknown, and whoever else cares, have an audio visual record of how I see things. And I thought that what I'd do is break my life down into segments. Let me start with from birth until about the age of 15, short segment. Aside from my father dying when I was like 9 years old or so, like, there's not much to remark on. After he died, my mother and brother and sister and myself moved in with my grandmother, my mother's mother, Marie. That's the only name I'll use in this video other than mine. And we rented a house right outside of McKeesport, Pennsylvania, in a place called Purcellsboro. And I had a pretty rough and tumble childhood. And I mean rough and tumble. We loved the woods. We loved baseball and football, and we played hard, took risks. Little kids don't see it like that, but you know, like getting up in the top of trees and having somebody cut the tree down and you ride it down, okay? We had a club called a Daredevils Club, and that was one of our, how do you call it? It's something you had to do if you wanted to belong to the club. Ride a tree down. Anyhow, a more crucial segment, and that's what I want to remark on right now, is about the time when I was 15 years old until the time that I was 19 years old. And I'll try not to be long-winded about it. but it was a tumultuous period of time for me, really. Long story short, I met a girl. I guess I had just turned 16. She did too. We have the same birthdays, same year, same hospital, same labor suite. Uh, one of the two of us, well, our mothers were in the same labor suite. One of the two of us was born either 2 minutes earlier or 2 minutes later than the other one. I forget which one of us it was, and that's here nor there. We were both born on September 19th, 1948, McKeesport, Pennsylvania, McKeesport Hospital. Quite a coincidence, huh? Right. The universe can get weird like that. But anyhow, like I said, we were inseparable. Went to high school together, and unfortunately, by the time we were both juniors, she was well along in a pregnancy. I had gotten an ulcer, and by the time, I think at the end of the junior year, she delivered. We had a daughter. And it was a hard time. It was. I mean, you can only imagine, my mom and my grandma and her parents, they weren't too happy about this. Hell, we were 16 years old. Nowadays, that's like kind of run of the mill. But back when I was in high school, that stuff just didn't happen. They didn't have daycare centers in the high school. But like I said, I had developed an ulcer. It was a pretty hard time, man. And like, I found the perfect pain relief. I discovered drugs and alcohol. And my whole world changed. I mean, like any person who depends on drug and alcohol, I was anything but responsible. And it made a lot of people sad, and it caused a lot of problems for me, for her parents, for my mom and my grandma, and all of my extended family. As things would have it, after the baby was born, I was not allowed to see her anymore. I was able to see her at will during the pregnancy, but once she had delivered and our daughter was born, that was the end of that. I wasn't allowed to see her anymore. I ran off to Atlantic City, run from the pain, run from the horrifying situation I was in, run to an easier place to get drugs. And that set the stage for the rest of my life. My formative years, they call them. The only thing good that came out of that, really, aside from my daughter, was I discovered the Beatles. My favorite band to this day. That's another story. You already heard them on this video, I'm sure. Well, you did, whether you knew it or not. And that's how it was. Things got so bad that toward the end of my 17th year, beginning of my 18th year, I don't know what, I ended up in jail again for disorderly conduct, underage drinking, this time fighting with the cops. And when I went before the magistrate, he was so tired of seeing me because I had spent nights in McKeesport City Jail a lot of times for the same stuff. This time was a little different. He got so tired of seeing me, he said, look, you're going to the county jail, no fine, nobody's getting you out, no bond, none of that. Goodbye. I ended up in the county jail, the big house. And it was scary. There I was, a young man with long blonde hair, pretty. And you can imagine the shit that went on. But my mother came to visit me. I was down there about, I guess, 10 days to 2 weeks. I don't know. And I said, Mom, you got to get me out of here, man. And she was as scared as I was for me, you know. Long story short, about 4 days later, about that, I guess, I got released. My mother was there to pick me up. And I said, Mom, how did you swing that? And she said, well, you're going into the Army. Here, what she had done was volunteered me for the draft. It was Vietnam era veteran. I mean, the Vietnam era, and the draft was on. So she volunteered me for the draft, and it was in January of 1968. I entered military service, and things didn't get any better. They didn't. Well, I'll end this segment on that. I mean, in upcoming videos, I'm sure that I'll bounce back and forth a little bit, you know, relating different things about how young day things connect to my old day things, because, you know, everything is interconnected, everything. And other than that, until we meet again, namaste. I love you all. And I'll see you when I see you, or you'll see me when you see me. I can't see you from here. I might see you on the street, who knows? All right. So long.